Bust it.
Happy Independence Anniversary, Nigeria. Congratulations, it's our 58th Independence Day celebrations. 58 years ago, the Union Jack was lowered and the white-green Nigerian flag hoisted to signify that a giant has been born. Now, so many people said this is giant of Africa. It has the potentials to be the giant of Africa. 58 years after, have we realize those potentials? What about those who were competing with in the early years of independence and nationhood? People that were taking us as a reference point, the Asian Tigers, the Chinas, the Malaysias, the Singapore, many of them have overtaken us today, and Nigeria is at crossroads. The optimism is that going forward, that's those potentials, the dream of the founding fathers, could be realized and should and must be realized only if we take the right steps in the right direction. The president reinforced this optimism in his Independence Day broadcast, pledging to organize and deliver a credible election come 2019, and the need for citizens to buy into that belief that together we can indeed become the cynosure of all eyes. My name is Amechi Anakwe. Welcome to our special Independence Day anniversary. It came at a time the primaries of the two main parties and indeed the other political parties are going on across the country. Yesterday it was governorship candidates that emerged in some others. It was a postponement either as a result of crisis or logistic issues, or in some other instances parallel congresses. It's a mixed bag of fortune for the big political parties ahead of that election, and it appears the governorship primaries are almost taking the shine off our Independence Day celebrations. Can somebody please ask the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to explore loopholes in our Electoral Act in fixing timetable next time to ensure that it doesn't fall within our Independence Day celebration? Well, the president yesterday paid visits to the hospital side of the airmen that were injured in last few days mishap in Abuja. Unfortunately, one of them that died was supposed to be one of those that will be flying the aircraft across the Ego Square in Abuja as part of celebrations of the Independence Anniversary. Our heart goes to the family members, friends, colleagues of the departed national hero. My colleagues are here with me. Shola Jaisimi, welcome to Political Platform.
Good morning, Nigerians. Happy 58th Independence Anniversary. And I made sure you're donning a costume that promotes the colors of Nigeria. Anyway, beyond the promotion of the colors of this great country, Nigeria, I listened to the president this morning during the Independence Day broadcast, and he alluded to the fact that the challenges are there, but that his administration is determined, being the ones who are at the helm of affairs at the federal level now, to get things done properly. He thumped his chest about the fact that the massive fight against corruption will continue, but the areas where some, analysts and political watchers are already commenting is that which has to do with the rule of law and the fact that the administration must, though the president has promised that the elections will be free and fair, must insist and must do the necessary thing to encourage INEC to do what it ought to do to ensure that the same benefit the president enjoyed by winning the elections, with INEC saying you got majority of the lawful votes cast, over 2.5 million over Jonathan, that the president should also do the same to ensure that those down the line who are members of his party allow the votes of Nigerians to count. So that was one of the strong areas. And he beat his chest also about the economy. But those who go to the market will say the cost of living is daily increasing.
Okay, Mustafa Mohammed is also in the studio with us.
Thank you very much. A lot of people are celebrating the 58th anniversary, and so many others are indifferent about it. 58 years post-independence of political crisis, assassinations, coups, counter coups, endless transition programs, deceptive administrations. And of course, you start asking, why is Nigeria lagging behind, our contemporaries whom we refer to as Asian tigers or some other countries in Africa? I think there's only one answer: lack of sincere leadership, which would have led Nigeria to the promised land. That is why even at this level you still have the lack of development, bad roads, lack of electricity, Boko Haram, kidnappings, abductions, killings in Zamfara, Benue, Plateau. I don't think those who converse for the early independence of Nigeria, plan this kind of outing, this kind of country that we are living in. But the fundamental question is, how can we get it right? All those who are coming into the political structure, either as ministers, National Assembly members, governors, president, or whatever, are people coming in for the sake of personal pride or line up their pocket, or they are coming to make this country better? If they are coming to make this country better, 19 years after the beginning of the 1999, democratic experience, why is it that still we are lamenting? Every administration that comes, you discover that in terms of the economy or human lifestyle, the previous administrations are better than how it is. I think there's really this need to look inward, especially as 2019 election is coming. Anybody you have given your votes to and have not performed better in turning this country or your state or your local government into a better place for you to live, reconsider voting that person. It's not a crime to vote anybody out.
Well, talking of elections, the United States, the European Union, and the United Kingdom that addressed the press on the day of the declaration of the APC candidate in the Osun governorship election winner, followed up their statement that they would release the issue that's over this weekend. They raised the issue of the neutrality of the security agencies, and it's one that raises a lot of alarm. They said security agents were part of the intimidation of voters, harassment of voters, not just voters, journalists, observers, and it calls to question the nature of security agencies we have in this country. We are talking about threats to democracy, and here you have very credible international observers, the members, very critical members of the international community, indicting our security agencies for going out of their way. Instead of providing peace, they are intimidating voters, journalists, and observers. So many people have said the problem may not just be with INEC, but with security agencies, especially the police. And this is food for thought for those at the head of security agencies, and indeed the government at the center, and of those are the states of the federation, where security agencies openly display partisanship. What kind of threat does it pose? Very big threat, if he really asks me. Our colleague Ogie Uduimo has been keeping tabs on the primaries as it went through the different states of the federation. Welcome to Political Platform, Ogie.
Thank you, Amici.
So very soon we'll be calling you up on you to really take us through the primaries as they happen in different states of the federation. Before then, let's take a break and then your comments.
Welcome back from the break. It's the mail segment, and I'm Amaka Okoro, and happy Independence Day from all of us here on the segment.
I'm Osaitin Yari. Welcome.
We'll begin with messages on Nigeria's independence, and we actually have a load of them. The first one is coming from Amechi Obochi from Kubwa in Abuja, and it says, Nigeria is today marking her 58th independence anniversary, probably in a very low key, as has been the case for some time now. But is there anything to celebrate about? Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that we have been together for the past 58 years as a country. Congratulations to all Nigerians and happy independence celebration. And no, because Nigeria has refused to move forward, but has rather moved from the giant of Africa to the home of poverty, from the giant of Africa to the home of unemployment, from the giant of Africa to the home of terrorism, from the giant of Africa to the home of hatred, from the giant of Africa to the home of religious intolerance, from the giant of Africa to a dumping ground. It is endless. Anyway, politics aside, I urge every well-meaning Nigerian to think twice while retracing our steps if we must take our desired position in Africa and the world. Let us do the needful now, as our huge population is failing us gradually.
More reactions. Chijioke in Lagos says, it is 58 years today that we began to take full charge of our existence as a country. Having gone through the rigors of amalgamation of the Southern and Northern Protectorates in 1914 by the British, on this day in 1960, 7 years after civil war was fought for 3 years as a result of injustice and suppression. This was because the accord reached in Ghana by both Nigerian and Biafran governments were not obeyed. The 3 R's of reconstruction, rehabilitation and reintegration were agreed, which to date have not been implemented. Hence, the continuous agitation for self-determination by the Biafrans. 2019 elections are here. How many youths were given the opportunity to vie for elective positions? The cost of forms by different political parties are not pocket-friendly to the youths who by all means are not lazy. Therefore, for a better Nigeria in the 21st century, youths with intellectual know-how should be allowed to lead in our political and economic space. That's it on the main segment for today. Continue to write to us through political platform at raypower.fm.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Udrimo has been keeping tabs on developments across the states of the Federation. One news just coming in that former governor, acting governor of Adamawa State, Umaru Fintri, has won the PDP's primary in that state. For the APC, I don't think it's settled yet.
No, for the APC, yes, it has been postponed. This morning, there was a statement from the National Secretary of the APC announcing the postponement of the primaries in Adamawa State, Enugu State, and Lagos State. That of Lagos State that is supposed to hold today has been postponed to tomorrow, 2nd of October. And that's
for the APC?
For the APC,
It's no longer holding today?
It's no longer holding today. And that of Enugu State has been postponed to Thursday, 4th of October.
Now, I know in Lagos State is a drama we're expecting. Mustafa Mohammed, we're expecting a lot of drama in Lagos State. Ambode, the governor of the state, yesterday addressed a press conference and attacked the personality of Sanwo-Olu. That's Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the man everybody, including Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has endorsed. He says he alleged that he was arrested spending some fake dollars in US and had gone for some rehabilitation in Bagada General Hospital in Lagos. Sanwo-Olu responded by saying maybe the anxiety, the tensions surrounding the governor appear to have unsettled him. But what we can say is that the governor has decided not to chicken out and is ready to go into the contest.
This issue of godfatherism is something that has come to stay in the Nigerian politics. But of course, in so many places, the people are fighting very hard to fight back the godfatherism. Is it not the same thing in Zamfara State, where since Yerima came to power in 1999, he had nominated who becomes the governor. This time around, you have about 9, intellectuals from business, former public service, private sector, now saying no to Yerima and the governor, and they came together and said that if this APC is going to do any primary, they will make sure that nobody is imposed in them. Okay. And in a place like Lagos, Amechi, if you look at Lagos State, the kind of intellectuals you have, people have gone to school, people have succeeded in businesses, people have succeeded in public service and in politics. For how long can one man, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will be the godfather of Lagos politics? It's not just Ambode. In the near future, we expect...
There's so many godfathers in Kwara State. You have Bukola Saraki. as the godfather, the funny thing is that sometimes they influence and delegate people that are older than them. So can they still be referred to as godfather? But okay, maybe quickly take us through the other states of the federation.
Well, in Taraba, Darius Ishaku, as in the incumbent governor of the state, was returned for the PDP. The APC, we don't have their results yet. I think that has not, they have not had their elections in the APC. Okeze Ikpeazu, as in the incumbent governor of Abia State, was returned by the PDP, and the APC postponed that of the APC was postponed in the state. Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State was returned as governorship candidate of the PDP in that state, and that of the APC experienced a whole lot of intrigues. We hear there are a lot of problems and
parallel primaries.
Yes, exactly.
Why Abe's group was holding in one part,
and that of
with Lulu Briggs the other, the Amechi side.
Exactly.
Who did they vote? Is it Tony Douglas?
Tony Douglas
okay.
and the others. Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi of Enugu State, the incumbent governor of Enugu State, was returned by the PDP in that state, and that of the APC was postponed. General Jeremiah Oseni, who is a 7th senator, emerged as that of the PDP candidate in Plateau State.
Former FCT minister.
Yes, exactly.
Jeremiah, as they call him.
Exactly. And Simon Lalong, the incumbent, was returned by the APC in that state, in Plateau State. Yakubu Lado was elected as governorship candidate of the PDP in Katsina State, and Aminu Masare, the incumbent governor, was returned by the APC. David Umahi was elected as the governorship candidate of the PDP in Ebonyi State, and that of the APC.
Okay,
we don't have.
Let's just stay a while and bring in our guest for today's Kenneth as a spokesperson. You decide 2019 on a day like this. We want to hear from another young people, those that will have the responsibility of steering the ship of the nation tomorrow. Maybe we have to give them more attention. Thank you so much, as Kenneth, for coming over to the studio.
Thank you, sir.
So, what's your dream of Nigeria at 58?
The Nigerian youths are not. We are worried. We are in a very perturbed situation. Looking at all the activities and the situation of the country, but be it as it may, we can't give up because we have no other nation, we have no other country. If we had option of maybe we are the second country, then we say since the situation is
you
like
don't
this,
have a dual citizenship.
Well, we don't.
Unfortunately for some of us who are typically and solely Nigerian, Shola, some people have dual citizens. Are dual citizens.
Yeah, interestingly, the law of Nigeria permits you to have dual citizenship. So if you have younger sisters who, once they get pregnant, by the 6th month, they run off to the UK, the US, and France to go have those babies. You get a clearer understanding that closer to home with you there are some who believe, let the citizenship of my kid be in another country because I don't know what's happening here. But like,
and I'm not sure of what will happen.
Yes, like Eze is saying, maybe the youths of Nigeria are giving up. But the charge we need to give to those who are in this category is that don't give up. Don't check out like Andrew was told not to check out in the 1980s.
So, Eze, you said we shouldn't give up. What steps should the youth take to reclaim the country?
Is a Herculean task, a very daunting one for that matter. But we know that just like no matter how the struggle, how painful, how the hard situation may linger, we are seeing light at the end of the tunnel. We have credible youth, vibrant youth who has this country at heart. The reason why we cannot joke with the country is because it's our future. We are going to take the chunk, the major part of what we are talking about. But the political elite, the old ones we are talking about, they're already in their 60s, in their 70s. And that is why instigates most of their actions, most of what they are doing, because they are seeing themselves, they are already living the same.
So you're saying there's hope for not just the youth as Nigeria turns 58, but for everybody.
Yes.
But we must walk the talk.
Yes, there is a hope. There's a hope. And we're already doing that. Even though they've come up with several ploys, the political elites, to scheme us out, the youth. You know what we're talking about?
They must continue to. I was just listening to some radio station as I was coming to the office. Some youths are saying they rather throw away their PVCs and get a visa. But I tell them, like you have re-emphasized, hold on to your PVC. even when you believe your votes will not count, it's a belief. In reality, your vote will count. And for your vote to count, you must make it to count. But we must thank you as a Kenneth, as a spokesperson. You decide 2019 for your intervention. Yeah. Shola, you're from Lagos State. A lot of drama coming from
I
your
thought we wouldn't mention that because, being a pan-Nigerian in this position. But the fact is that you come from somewhere. I'm from Lagos, and we've been watching closely the developments happening in that state. Mustafa has weighed in on something very strongly, which is the fact that the people of Lagos, who are reported to be almost 10 million, of which about 4-point-something million have permanent voters cards, need to take their destiny in their hands. What do I mean? If former Governor Tinubu is the godfather of Lagos politics, as it's called, well, the people of Lagos will determine whether they are the god-grandfathers of politics in Lagos. And I think, like some have said, following what Ambode did at that press conference yesterday, that he hit below the belt. Well, I think, and some other political and public image makers believe that probably maybe Ambode could have allowed that blow he threw at Sanwo-Olu to be taken by some people elsewhere. Plant stories like some do, this is politics at work, instead of going about. It seems that Ambode has said, look, my political godfather, I am going to fight you on this issue.
I'd rather go down fighting than chicken out. History will not forgive you for chickening out. You do the fight. If you succeed, praises. If you fail, as a sportsman, you bow out and be ready to fight another.
The same Tinubu put Fashola there, and when Fashola was leaving, had his own candidate he wanted to anoint, and as a result, they failed out. But the educated Lagos people, with all their monies and the successes recorded, how can one man be dictating to them which way to go in politics? I'm not from Lagos State,
some of them
but I want to have a better democracy in Nigeria.
That they like his blueprint. He mentioned about the blueprint that the governor has abandoned allegedly. Some of them will say his dictation is one man.
But they did very well in Lagos. Everybody knows that.
The much we can take today, we'll continue to keep tabs on Lagos State for you, and indeed elsewhere. Tomorrow we'll continue from there. Happy Independence Anniversary again on behalf of my colleagues. Amechi Anokwe is my name. Have a good Independence Anniversary celebration.